What's up, everyone? Dylan here. And with all the wild and craziness in crypto in the past few months, there's one important thing that you need to remember: not your keys, not your crypto. So, what that means is if you're buying Bitcoin on some centralized exchange and you haven't created the private keys, or you don't hold the private keys, then you don't own that Bitcoin. The exchange does. And we saw an example this past week with Celsius denying users access to their funds, which is exactly what hardcore crypto people have been preaching for forever. The problem is, it can be very difficult if you're new to the space to figure out, hey, what are keys? What are private keys? How do I get them? And once you figure out those things, it's like, well, what wallet should I use? Should I use a Ledger? Should I use a Trezor? Should I use something else? Well, today we're going to be focusing on one of the coolest wallets, one of the most innovative wallets, called the Ballet crypto wallet. Now, I will say they did send me these, right? They reached out. They're like, hey, we like your videos. Would you mind doing a review? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Because I actually had been using these wallets before. I bought some down at the Bitcoin conference down in Miami. And I actually used some to help people get some Bitcoin who were brand new to the space. So I'm going to be talking more about that here in this video. So first, let's just dive in and let's open this. So they sent me these wallets, and they're really cool, and they're different and they're unique compared to some of the other wallets like the Ledger. These guys are unique in that everything you need is here on this thing. It's just a metal card, but there's no electronic components or anything like that. It has some QR codes, some other stuff on here. I'll show you here in just a second. But there's no like random computer generating the code on the device like you get on a Ledger or a Trezor. It's just all here. So it makes it very user friendly for beginners in the space. Now, I will say there's some pros and cons to that approach that I'll address here. So let's just open this thing up. Let me open this box. Of course, it's a tamper-proof box. Always, 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 when you're ordering any of these wallets, the Ballet crypto wallets included, always order them from the manufacturer directly. Don't order from a third party. Don't go and buy them off Amazon or anything like that. Get them from the manufacturer. Or the only other option, but you can get them from someone you trust and you know that they got them from a manufacturer. Like, I'll buy some of these wallets and give them out to my clients, or when I host meetups, I'll hand these out as prizes and giveaways and stuff like that. But I buy them directly from the manufacturer, right? So I know that where my source is. Now, the people have to trust me to that I'm telling the truth. But I'm in the space, I believe in it, and I'm not going to go out there and lie about these wallets. I have better things to do than to do that. My whole goal is to help educate people and get people involved in the space. So anyways, back to the wallet. Let's get this opened up. So it comes in this cardboard package. It's real nice. They got they got a thing here that says just to get started with the link on start.balletcrypto.com. So really good instructions. They have this cool graphic here, like, hey, what's in the wallet? Things are falling out. I guess this is a little case for the wallet, because these are like what you'd consider a bearer instrument. So with your Ledger, you could lose your Ledger, but as long as you haven't lost your passphrase, your seed phrase, you can restore that wallet. But with the Ballet crypto wallet, if you lose the wallet, you lose everything. So don't lose these if you have it. So that's a con in one respect, but it's a pro because it keeps it simple, right? It's really easy. It's like, hey, if I lose this, it's gone, right? This is basically your crypto. So don't lose the wallet. But they have they have a label, so with all the different things, and I'll show you on my screen here so you can see better with that. So let's get this wallet out. So I flip this open one. All right, so we got a thank you, founder of Bobby Lee. He actually has a book. I still need to read this one, but it's The Promise of Bitcoin, so you can check it out. I got this from him down in Miami, right? He was signing copies of these books all day, every day at that conference, which I thought was pretty cool, right? So let's get the wallet. So it's ready to use. You don't have to set this up. The only thing you need is the Ballet crypto app. Again, makes it super simple. There's no process for setting like the Ledger. We have to generate your seed phrase, write down a piece of paper, and so on and so forth. Let's see if I can get this thing out of the container. It is, oh, there we go. It just slid out. So box, right? Cardboard box. It does give you the important warnings in here. So that's really cool here. It does show you where to download the app. It shows you all the different cryptocurrencies that are involved on this here. So I think this is pretty great, right? This is a really cool package because it has all the information that you need. Now, if you are someone who wants to cut down on packaging, then this may not be the package for you. But I think it's great because it has all the included information. It secures the card, so you know it's not going to get like bent up in the mail or anything like that. And just the card itself, this thing is hefty, right? This thing is solid. Like it's like a steel plate for the card. But you can see the card here. You can see the front of this card, right? It looks really amazing, super cool, which makes sense. If it's a bearer instrument, you want it to look like that. And it has Bitcoin on the front, or the B symbol for Bitcoin, and it's the real Bitcoin series. They have a couple other products I'll show you here in a second on those. So they also have, again, the warning on the back, right? Their copyrights, all that kind of stuff. You can write a memo, so you can say like, whatever you can write on this and say, hey, this is the wallet for so and so. So anyways, if we look here, right here on the wallet, so we have this phrase and then we have this. So this is a tamper-proof seal. So this right here is the QR code for the public key. So the cool thing is that that's exposed, so it's easy to scan that with your camera, but it doesn't compromise the card because the private keys are all hidden here. And the way the Ballet Crypto does this, and I'm not a huge expert on this process, but I'll show you on their website where you can look through and they answer all the questions. So they're very thorough, very open. So I do like that. I think that's a very good pro for this wallet. But basically, you have to combine this wallet, this thing right here, which you have to scratch off, and then you have to peel this off, right? You have to peel this kind of tamper-proof seal off in order to send funds from the wallet. So you can receive funds. So if you guys are watching this and you want to send me funds to this wallet, right? Thank you. But in order for me to send them, in order for me to get the funds off of them, I have to combine this and this, which I think is cool. It's unique. I think the con that I don't like with this is that you have to actually like physically destroy the card. You have to physically change this device in order to reveal those to send any funds. So with that said, right, real quick, I find the best use of these Ballet crypto cards as gifts, right? These are really good for giving to people, friends, family, siblings, like grandparents giving to grandchildren, so on and so forth. I think that is like their best use because they can just put money on them and say, hey, just hold on to this, just keep this for years. Don't ever lose it. Don't ever get rid of it. And the funds, because the grandparents, whoever sends the gift, they can make note of the public key, so the public address, so they can always send funds to that. Like, for example, my grandpa every year would give me $2 bills for Christmas. Well, this would have been a cool thing if he gave this to me, and had a little case, he put it in this case right here, this little like plastic case that came with it, and say, hey, keep this, don't ever lose this, don't ever share this, don't ever peel these things off. Coming from a grandparent, that'd be pretty powerful. When your grandparent tells you that, you're gonna listen, especially as a kid. And he says every year, here's how you can check the balance, but every year I'm gonna send you $20, right? But in Bitcoin, and just send you to this wallet and just keep this card, don't ever lose it. I think that's one of the best ways to use this versus if you're like a hardcore crypto user. Like they told me when they sent this, hey, talk about our like air gap signing functions and talk about how you can do NFTs and stuff on these cards. And so they're building the functionality in these cards because that's what I think is required in the space. But with the times we're in now, like, you don't want to be messing around with these super risky assets. You need to get the basics down first. And that's what I believe the majority of people need, the basics, right? How to get the money, right? And savings, right? Saving in Bitcoin, especially, right? The long-term view versus all this short-term, high time preference stuff. Like, it's cool. You can play around with it, but for most people, like, there's just so much to know and there's so much risk when you do that. So I'm not going to focus on that today. I'm not going to show you the air gap stuff. I'm just telling you that exists. Like, they have a cool thing where you can air gap your keys if you use 2 different devices. So that's neat. I just like to keep things simple and focus on what's the simplest and best use for certain things rather than try to have one thing do everything. And I think there are better products and services out there for some of those more advanced features. But I think this one really takes the cake on just like being an awesome gift idea and an awesome thing that you can basically give to someone as like a cherished gift that they can save for forever. So like, what if you gave someone one of these cards with 1 Bitcoin on it and say, hey, I'm going to give this to you. You can do with it whatever you want, but don't lose it and just don't spend it. Just keep it. And right? And just see how long you can keep that. Keep it for 5 years, 10 years. Can you promise me that? Right? Something like that. This would be great for wedding gifts for people. And all that kind of stuff. You can write a cool memo on the back. You can set it up. And the cool thing is, like, you could write that memo and hand someone the physical card. And as long as these tamper-proof seals aren't messed with, right? You know that the private key hasn't been revealed, so that whoever holds the card, they're the one that gets to reveal that private key. And with that said, if you ever get one of these cards and the private key is revealed, right, these tamper-proof seals are messed up, well, it's compromised. Don't ever use that one again. If you have funds on it, get it off as soon as possible. But again, that's one of the reasons why I think that's a con. They have to physically mess with this, because as soon as you send funds off of these devices, this thing's a flap, right? This got sticky stuff on it. Sticky stuff like gets less sticky over time. So then that's an issue. And then this right here, this phrase right here is now revealed. So you have to hide this from view. You can't let anyone else see it. But right now I can wave this thing around like I've been doing, and it's not a big deal. So anyways, just to conclude there, before I show you the website and all the questions and different things you can look at for this, very, very good for gifts. Very, very good for getting beginners involved with crypto, because they really don't got to do anything. They got to download an app and have this in their possession, and now they have crypto. Now they have Bitcoin. So anyways, let's transition on over to the website, and let's look at what they have going on here. So here we have the Ballet Crypto website. Really beautiful website. Like these things feel cool. They look good. They are really cool things to have, right? They're in a digital world, it's cool to have a physical device. And to me, this kind of thing seems more like you can do, like, I don't know, like, it seems more like an NFT. I know there's non-fungible tokens, but it'd be cool like if this was the NFT, right? If this wallet was the NFT. And there's cool stuff built on it. Maybe that'll come in the future. Who knows? Anyways, beautiful website. They have all these different things. They have all these different types of products, right? Different wallets. So this is the real series. This is the one I'm showing you, is this one with the Bitcoin on there. I guess they have one for Litecoin, and they have, like, it looks like they have an Ethereum one, and so on and so forth. I try to stick to Bitcoin, right? I like to keep it simple. If you like the other tokens and things like that, that's fine. But I prefer Bitcoin. I think everyone that's new to the space should learn Bitcoin first before going anywhere else. I just think that's the best place for everyone to start, and then they can better make up their mind and decide like if they're going to get involved with any other tokens or cryptos or whatever other ones out there, right? I leave that up to them, but I like to educate them on Bitcoin first. So I prefer the ones with the Bitcoin on them. And I think, it's more practical for what Bitcoin actually is, where Bitcoin, it's really good as a savings device, where a lot of the other cryptos out there, they're more for speculating. They're more for trading. You got to get in, you got to get out, right? You got to time the market a lot more. Bitcoin, there's the whole ethos of just saving Bitcoin, right? Just buy more Bitcoin and hodl it. So this type of thing works really well for that. So you don't have to constantly send and receive funds. Also, one tip I always give to my clients and people that I talk to about crypto is, while they do say they support all these different cryptos for the wallet, I like to keep my wallet simple, right? So I don't like to have like multiple different types of coins on my wallets, because that can get confusing. So, to keep it, like, again, keep it simple, just keep the coin on the wallet that you have the sign on it. So this one's Bitcoin. So I'm not going to go put Litecoin or Ethereum or anything else on this thing, right? Because that can get confusing. Even though I could write the memo on the back, right? I just want to put Bitcoin on this thing. And I primarily just buy Bitcoin anyway. So, but if you want to get Litecoin, get the Litecoin card and keep them separate. So not all your eggs are in one basket, and you have the different ones. So anyways, back to the website. So here it is, and they have a really good overview and really good. So this is the view of their app, what things look like when you scan this with the app. All you gotta do is download it, the Ballet Crypto app. They have it for iPhone and Android. So they have different NFTs, different projects here, so you can look at those, right? All the different tokens and all that kind of stuff. Full liability coverage and whatever, right? So they have all this stuff. So let's get into some of their products. So they have the Real, Pro, Pure, and Pro series. So this is the Real series. Let's go to the Pure series. So these are real cool. These are the ones I actually use for an event. These Pure series, low denomination, super easy to do for these ones. Same concept, same thing. They got all the same features. Again, I bought the Bitcoin ones, but you can choose which crypto you want on these cards. And these are like gift cards. So they can only have a max amount on the card as is listed. So like this one says 100,000 sats. So you can only put up to 100,000 sats on that card. Then after that, you can't put more funds on that. So I think that's kind of cool. And what I did is I bought a 20 pack. And I think it was like 50,000 sats in each card. It was like $15 at the time. It's $10 today. And I just bought the Bitcoin. This is a really easy thing. I use Strike to buy it and then send it to the app. Super easy, super quick to do that. And I just handed these cards out to everyone, and told them about it. And now I gave Bitcoin to everyone in a physical form, so they can't lose. It's not like on some app on their phone that they might forget or anything like that. There's no passwords, nothing like that. They just need to have the device and they have the Bitcoin. So really, really good for events, things like that. I think these cost like, so let's look at the price of this. So it's like $5 a card. So that is a little pricey for these plastic cards. But I understand where some of the cost comes from, just from all the features. By having the tamper-proof seal, you can kind of see it on here. The printing of it and whatever like things you gotta do in the back end. So it makes sense that they're expensive, that they're $5. But it'd be great if these cards were like $1, right? Significantly cheaper. It'd be more practical to use those, especially for these lower denomination amounts, because like I said, I put 50,000 sats on one of these cards, and when you pay $5 for a card, and then the total amount of money on that card is $15 at the time, right? Hey, if Bitcoin goes up a ton, it could be worth a lot more. But it's just the cost of it was a lot higher. I'd much prefer if I could have given them like $19 in Bitcoin and only paid $1 for these cards. But they could be worth a lot in the future. And of course, you can reuse them. But again, you do run into the risk of when you reveal the seed phrases and things like that, then the cards are compromised. So I don't really recommend reusing these ones. So anyways, those are real cool. And then of course, other products, they have that was the Pure, then the Pro series, right? So these are for experts. So they're trying to make it so that you can use their wallets for more things, which is cool, right? Which is cool that they have that. So there are a lot of different products. So that is nice that they're building this in there and considering different consumers. But again, keep it simple. I don't like when products try to do too much at once. I don't necessarily need my one solution to do everything. Sometimes I like to compartmentalize what I'm using. Like I'll use a hot wallet for certain features, and then I'll use a cold wallet for other things, and like I'll use this for something else. So it's nice to know that there's different options out there. So let's go look over here. So just for the wallet, just so you can see what it looks like. So they have this nice guide online, so it's very easy to see what the different parts of the wallet are. So you have the QR code, you have the different serial numbers on here that correspond to their manufacturing process, because a big question that people have is like, hey, how do I ensure, because the seed phrases or the private keys are printed on this wallet, how do I ensure that those aren't compromised throughout the manufacturing process? And that is a big question. And I think that's one of the bigger risks of this card, is that they could be compromised during that process, in theory. Right? So in practice, I'll show you that it's not likely that will happen. And as always in this space, in crypto and Bitcoin and everything, people like to say trustless, right? You don't have to trust anyone, but that's not exactly true, right? It's trust minimized. You're trying to find the products and services that you have to give the least amount of trust to in order to operate. Because there's always levels of trust and layers of trust that you need to consider. So it's always trust minimization versus zero trust, right? So that's just something to consider. So there's always points of potential failure in this, but that's just life, right? There's always points of potential failure. You just got to judge the risk on this. And I think this is a super, super low risk from what I'm seeing here. So anyways, you can go here. They have great step-by-step instructions, easy links, easy to follow this stuff. As a guy with a marketing background, they lay it out perfectly. You can find all the information on their website, super easy to follow. The tutorials are there. They make it really, really, really simple to get involved. That's why this is really good for beginners, really good for gifts and things like that. And if you are wondering, if you want to go into more detail actually, we want to go to this one first. More detail on like how these are created, what is, what does the process look like? They have this on their site. So if you go to support.ballet.com, and then it's basically in their, it's in their articles here. Maybe I'll post this in the link below. But basically, they walk you through how are Ballet wallet private keys generated. They go through the details, how they're generated, right? And they have the manufacturing process. And they have all the frequently asked questions. Does the Ballet crypto app store my Ballet wallet private key on my mobile device or transmit it over the internet? Right? How is it possible to generate a cryptocurrency address from a passphrase, right, and encrypted private key without combining them on the same computer? So these are all the questions that I brought up that you might have if you're like, wait, how do they get those keys on this device? Well, this answers it. So you can go through and read all these articles, and I'll link this in the video below. And I think it's really awesome that they've thought about this and they posted this so it's easily found, right? I think that's amazing, and like that shows that the company cares about its product and cares about its customers. Because they want to give them the information, they want to inform them. Now, if you know more, if you're a tech expert, you may disagree, which is totally fine. If so, definitely post that in the comments below. But for the general user, general person, like this is pretty good, right? This is pretty good, pretty easy, pretty simple to start. And they have all these different ones here. So I'll post that in the links below. And one thing is, because one of the whole points of having one of these cold storage wallets, right, Ledger and things like that, is that your private key, that your seed phrase, your passphrase, never gets input on a computer. Because when you input that seed phrase or passphrase on a computer, then what happens is that you could have someone that is, key logging, right? There could be malware on your computer that activates and transmits your screen, shares your screen with other people. So I reviewed another hardware wallet that wanted to be simple and easy, and the biggest problem is my seed phrase showed up on my phone, and I was like, whoa, like it's cool if it does that. I just don't trust that wallet as much, right? I treat it as a hot wallet and know it could be compromised if my phone was compromised. So they now have a feature how to send cryptocurrencies using the air gapped signing function. I mentioned this earlier, right? This is more of an advanced feature, so it's cool that they have this built in. I think for majority of people, you don't need this, especially if you're using this as a gift. You only really need to use this once, right? If you're saving this Bitcoin for forever. But anyways, what you can do here is basically you need two devices, one phone that's offline and one phone that's online. And you'll basically take, and they walk you through step by step, right? Which is great. Makes it super easy to do this. So I don't need to walk you through that. But basically, you'll take the offline device, and that's where you'll type in your keys and stuff on that offline device, so it's not connected to the internet, so it can't be compromised. And then you will pair that up with your online device, right? And so your offline device will send the encrypted signal to your online device saying that your private keys are signing that transaction to send the funds. So it can be a little complex, but it's okay to take those precautionary steps when you're being your own bank. That's part of the key to self-sovereignty, is that, you got to take some extra steps, and it can be a little cumbersome, but realize that, you are doing that for a reason. And that's part of why this is built on. So you don't have to depend on a third party, because we know that third parties will sometimes shut you down. So anyways, I think that's cool that they have that on there. Let me just show you a few more things before we wrap this video up here. So this is something that they have. They have a special for Father's Day. So if you're watching this before Father's Day, you can get 15% off at checkout. They'll probably have specials in the future. You can get this Tiger Gold card. Pretty cool, right? I think it's cool that they have this, because like these are almost like physical trading cards, because I also have this one from the Bitcoin conference. So it's kind of cool. You can collect these like almost physical cards. Like these are like real NFTs, except instead of like like JPEGs on them. Of course, you can store JPEGs on it, but like you can store actual Bitcoin on these things. And since they're bearer instruments, these things themselves can hold value beyond just the assets on there. Like you can have one of these, or like, I'm sure you've seen back in the day where people bought iPhones and they got like gold cased iPhones and diamond encrusted iPhones just because they wanted to. So I think that's kind of a cool thing that you can do with these things. Now, with that said, if you got some Bitcoin on here and you have this flashy card and it's a bearer instrument, meaning, if it's not in your possession, whoever holds it has access to it, you probably got to make sure that's secure. So if you're displaying it in your living room because it looks cool, just make sure that you don't have any parties where some suspicious guests might come and steal it. Because if they steal it, it's theirs now. So just keep that in mind. It is cool that they look nice, but if someone sees it and like, wow, that's really cool, and the inner klepto in them is like, I want that, right? All they have to do is take it. All they have to do is even take it into the bathroom, right, for a couple minutes, and boom, it's compromised. Bitcoin's gone. They sneak out the bathroom window. Poof, right? They don't need to be your friend anymore because they stole your Bitcoin. So keep that in mind with these. Like, even though they look pretty, which I think is cool, just make sure they're secured right, and you don't just flaunt them around casually. That you keep them under, you got some good security on them. So, anyways, they'll probably have more stuff in the future on sale. So always go here and check this out. And this link will be in the thing below. But again, like they have all the step-by-step instructions on here, which I think is great. I think is great. And different assets and things like that. So let's go to the next tab. This is again like how the private key security. So another article on private key security. So again, this will be referenced below. So they talk more about their process. They have graphics. Again, they've definitely done an amazing job by documenting their process, by answering all the questions. They've thought this through for their product and their service. So you can show they're committed to delivering a high quality product, and they're committed to making sure the space is safe and secure. Um, so those are good things to consider when deciding if you want to do business with this company. All right. Howard Ballet, well, yeah, that's another thing. So anyways, those are just other articles that I had there. And I'll just close those out. All right, let's transition back to the big screen so I can show you this wallet one more time before we finish this video. So here's this Real Series wallet, right? You can see, you can see all the features there. We got the Bitcoin sign there. We got the tamper-proof seal. We got the public key displayed here. All that. We got the different serial codes, and then we got that passphrase there. So ultimately, at the end of the day, do I recommend this or do I not? I do. I think it's great for gifts. I think it's great for getting people involved. I liked how that you have the little gift card ones where you can give like different denominations of sats and the other tokens out there. I think that's great. It keeps it simple, it keeps it easy. And after all, that's what's going to get people in this space. The most important thing is that you have companies and individuals going out there and educating people on what this space is, so people can start to break through all that tech overwhelm and start getting involved. So I think that's super powerful with these cards. I do recommend them for that. Now, with that said, I don't think you should use these necessarily for all the advanced features. I think you should keep it simple, right? Don't try to do too much, right? Really just make sure that you understand and you use the simple and easy functionality of it, because that creates that makes it so that you don't have as many opportunities to mess things up. So keep it simple with these things. You shouldn't be like sending funds to the card, then sending funds out of the card, pulling this seal up, putting it back down, and doing anything like that, right? Just keep it simple for these things. So gifts, things like that, I think they're amazing. Used for events. Those small denomination cards are great. Give these away for like raffles and all that kind of stuff. I think those are great uses from these. Now, what about large amounts of money? Potentially. I think this has the potential to hold a large amount of money. But I think you should, if you have large amounts of money, like several Bitcoin or more, like we're talking thousands of dollars, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. I really think you should really do your due diligence. I think you should talk to multiple people. You should call up these companies individually, call up different ones. You should talk to custodians, talk to places like there's other I'm not gonna mention in the video, but other services that you should talk to when you're considering larger amounts of money, because you need to be your own bank and you need to do your due diligence when you're securing those funds. A guy named Jameson Lopp, I think I heard a tweet. He's a Bitcoin guy, and he basically said that take the amount. I think this is the general essence of what he said. Basically, take the amount of Bitcoin you have now, and then multiply it by 10 USD dollar value or whatever. Right? That's the amount of security you should be preparing for. So basically, 10x the value of your current crypto holdings, and make security decisions based upon that 10x number. So like if you have $1,000, pretend like you have $10,000 and give it that level of security. If you have 10,000, pretend it's 100,000, and so on and so forth. Because then you're being over secure, but you're also doing all your research to make sure that you're making the right decisions. Because while I like this, and I think it's good for certain cases and certain people, it may not be for everyone. And that's the same thing with any other cold storage wallet out there. So always, always, always do your own research, because your situation, your wants, needs, and desires, and your values, and how you operate, and what type of person you are, and all those things are different than mine. So that's it. And basically that's it. So just consider your own perspective in your own position before going out and making a decision based upon what some guy on YouTube tells you. So anyways, got to wrap up this video. It's been a long one. Thanks to everyone about Ballet Crypto. These things are super cool. I'm looking forward to giving some of these to my family, some of these to my clients, just to help them get more involved. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know below. But definitely go check out Ballet Crypto, see it for yourself. And if you're curious, just buy one of the simple cards. Just buy one of those like $5 cards, 5-pack, right? And play around with it. You know, spend 25, 50 bucks on one of these things. See if you like it. That's also something you can do. Just see if you like it. And if you like it, you can play around with it more. You can do more with it. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments below and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.